Zainab, good morning.
मैम
Good morning. कैसे हो बेटा?
बढ़िया मैम.
All good? Fine. चलो, I'm sharing the screen. Give me a minute. Okay? Just a second. Huh? Okay. Yes, Zainab,
Yes ma'am.
can you hear me?
Ma'am, your voice is so low.
My voice is low. Maybe
Ma'am,
then
now it's okay.
maybe your net connection is not proper. That is
Yes ma'am.
okay. Zainab, do you have history book with you right now?
Yes ma'am, in my cupboard.
Okay. Take the book out from the cupboard. Keep it with you.
Okay ma'am, 1 minute please.
हाँ हाँ. Ronit, good morning, beta.
Good morning, ma'am.
If you could open your camera. Yes, very good. Keep it open and get your history book with you. We are doing case-based study questions.
Ma'am, take it out.
Taken out. Okay. In that book, open page number, no, number I don't know exactly, but you open that page where the tribal revolts is given above the Swaraj and plantations paragraph topic. History book.
Okay ma'am.
Nationalism in India.
Ma'am, Swaraj in the plantations.
Yes, Swaraj in the plantations, right? Open.
Yes ma'am.
Okay, now
Yes ma'am.
just a second. Okay, you have this paragraph, no? Whole paragraph. Go through the whole paragraph, and these are 5 questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 questions given. 2 marks, then 1 and again 2.
Okay ma'am.
Right? Please read the passage aloud. Ronit, are you there, beta?
Yes, ma'am.
Ronit, please read the passage, beta. I hope you have opened your book.
मैम पेज निकाल रहा हूँ मैं.
हाँ. Zainab, tell him the page number.
Page number 60.
Ronit, got the page number? Ronit, Zainab, read the paragraph, beta.
Okay, ma'am. Workers too had their own understanding of Mahatma Gandhi and Nation for Swaraj. For plantation workers in Assam, freedom meant the right to move freely in and out of the confined space in which they were enclosed, and
Hmm.
it meant retaining a link with the village from which they come. Under the Inland Immigration Act 1859, plantation workers were not permitted to leave the tea garden without permissions, and in fact, they were rarely given such permissions. When they heard of the non cooperation movement, thousands of workers defied the authorities, left the plantation, and headed home. They believed that Gandhi Raj was coming and everyone would be giving land in their own villages. They, however, never reached their destination, stranded on the way by railway and steamer strike. They were caught by the police and brutally beaten up.
नहीं 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 नहीं, आप गलत पैराग्राफ पढ़ रहे हो, इसके ऊपर वाला पढ़ना है, अलूरी सीताराम राजू वाला बेटा। वही आई वाज नॉट एबल टू गेट इट कि आप कौन सा उसमें पढ़ रहे हो, आप ये वाला पढ़ उसके ऊपर वाला पैराग्राफ पढ़ना है बेटा, हिल्स वाला, पीजेंट
Okay, ma'am.
रिवोल्ट। हाँ, okay, you do one thing
Ma'am, it
silent,
was
beta silently you read it and do these questions, means we will discuss and then you will write the answers, okay?
okay, ma'am.
हाँ, or you can do the questions one by one, first one answer you question you read out and then you find the answer in the book. If you feel that it is not required, you can simply tell the answer to me.
Okay, ma'am.
Do you know the first answer? Zainab,
Yes, ma'am.
you know the first answer?
Yes, ma'am.
Tell.
Tribal peasants interpreted the message of Mahatma Gandhi
Hmm.
by the idea of Swaraj in another way.
How? Who interpreted the message of Mahatma Gandhi? It was the tribals who interpreted. But how did they interpret? क्या करा उन्होंने जब स्वराज उनको पता चला गांधी जी ने स्वराज डिक्लेयर करा है, तो what they started doing? Zainab?
Ma'am, they start part in the struggles.
हाँ, they started what?
Ma'am, they started taking part in the struggles
हाँ, ठीक
like
है,
strikes.
हाँ, very good, very good. Who was Alluri Sitaram Raju and what role he played in the tribal revolt? Who was Alluri Sitaram Raju and what role he played in the tribal revolt?
Alluri Sitaram was a person
Hmm.
who had a variety of special powers.
Hmm.
He could make correct astrological predictions and
Hmm.
heal people, and
Hmm.
he could survive even shoots.
Okay, very good, very good. Next is, which movement spread in the early 1920s in the Goddam Hills of Andhra Pradesh?
Um, Militant guerrilla movement spread
Hmm.
in the early 1920s, not in the form of struggle that the Congress could approve.
नहीं, बस उसके पहले वाला, ये 1 मार्क का है, इतना ही लिखेंगे।
Okay, ma'am.
वेरी गुड। व्हाट इज बिग आर?
Um,
यस, व्हाट इज बिग आर?
when the government began forcing them to contribute begar for the road
नहीं
building
नहीं
and
नहीं, दिस इज नॉट द डेफिनेशन. हमने इससे पहले वाले उसमें पढ़ा हुआ है ना कि बेगार क्या है. तो आपको इस पैसेज
yes
में
ma'am.
पता होना चाहिए. जरूरी नहीं है कि आपको इस केस स्टडी में क्वेश्चन का आंसर यहीं पे मिल जाए, पर क्योंकि कुछ चीजें हमने पहले ऑलरेडी करी हुई हैं, तो आपको इसका पता होना चाहिए कि व्हाट एज
Yes
पर.
ma'am. Ma'am,
हाँ
it is a labor
हाँ
that of the villages but that they were forced to contribute without any payment.
हाँ, that they were forced. See, begar is work, doing labor without any money,
Payment.
payment. ठीक है, चलिए, वेरी गुड. Next is, when did the hill people revolted against British? When did the hill people revolted against British?
Ma'am, in 1920.
वो तो है, पर मतलब इसमें आपको ईयर नहीं बताना है. आपको ये बताना है कि किन
We have
चीजों
to
का
tell the
कौन से
reason.
reasons. Yes, yes, yes.
Okay ma'am.
Hmm.
Ma'am, peoples were not allowed to move there here, and so uh, they were the uh, Inland Immigration Act,
Hmm.
uh, from which they were not allowed to leave the tea garden without permissions.
Hmm. ठीक है. सी, देयर वर सेवरल रीजंस फॉर द रिवोल्ट ऑफ द हिल पीपल अगेंस्ट द ब्रिटिश. ये जो आपका फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ के जो ऊपर की कुछ एक लाइन है उसमें दिया हुआ है इन लोगों का.
Yes,
ठीक है, ठीक है, क्लियर.
okay, ma'am.
ओके,
Yes,
फाइन.
ma'am.
ओके, नाउ यू हैव, बेटा ये पैसेज दिख रहा है आपको? कैन यू सी
Yes,
ऑन द,
ma'am.
सॉरी, ऑन द स्क्रीन?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, fine. Now read it and I will ask you some questions then. Only the first paragraph you read. First silently you read and
Okay,
then
ma'am.
questions. हाँ.
Ma'am, read it. Ma'am, read.
Okay. Now which movement they are talking about in this paragraph?
Freedom movement.
Which freedom movement? There is a particular movement which was started.
Non-cooperative cooperation Khilafat movement.
Very good. Non-cooperation movement they are talking about. Very good. Second, how did the middle class participate in the cities in the non-cooperation movement?
Ma'am,
Shall
they
I?
left the government schools
Huh?
and colleges. Headmaster and teachers also resigned, and
Hmm.
lawyers gave up their illegal practices. The
Hmm.
councils were the council elections were boycotted in most provinces except Madras, where the
Hmm.
Justice Party, the party of the non-Brahmins, felt that entering the. Ma'am, ये भी पता ना होगा
नहीं,
क्या?
बस आप केवल लीगल प्रैक्टिसेस तक जो है वो करेंगे,
Okay, ma'am.
या काउंसिल इलेक्शंस के बॉयकॉटेड तक भी कर सकते हैं, कोई प्रॉब्लम नहीं है. ठीक है.
Okay, ma'am.
हाँ, वेरी गुड. नेक्स्ट क्वेश्चन
Except
इज,
Madras तक.
हाँ, who did not participate in the non-cooperation movement in Madras?
Non, the party of non-Brahmins felt.
Brahmins, non-Brahmins, or you can
Brahmins.
say the Justice Party did not participate in the non-cooperation movement in Madras, right?
Okay, ma'am.
Very good. Then second paragraph. Shall I ask?
Yes, ma'am.
How will you define picketed? How will you define picketed?
A form of demonstrations or protest by which people block the entrance to a shop, factory, or office.
Very good, very good. Now, what was burnt in huge bonfires in the non-cooperation movement at the economic front?
All the government things, like they drop
No,
all the government things.
no, 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 no.
The foreign.
The foreign cloth, very good. The foreign cloth was burnt under the huge bonfires, very good. Mm, the import of foreign cloth halved between which 2 years?
In 1921 and 1922.
Very good. How much the value dropped? How much?
102 crore to rupees 57 crore.
Very good. Who refused to trade in foreign goods or finance foreign trade? I repeat,
Merchants and traders.
traders. Very good. As the movement, with the spreading of which movement, people began discarding imported clothes.
Another non-corporate.
नहीं, ध्यान से देखो, पैराग्राफ में से पढ़ के दिया है हमने क्वेश्चन बच्चा.
Yes.
हाँ, which one is it?
The non-cooperation movement.
नहीं, as the boycott movement spread. ठीक है?
Okay, ma'am.
Now the third paragraph. Which movement slowed down in the cities gradually?
Boycott movement.
नहीं,
The non-cooperation movement, because
non-cooperation movement. Very good. Okay. Why the poor people switched back to the foreign clothes or the milk cloth? Why did
because
the
ma'am, khadi cloth was often more expensive than mass production of milk cloth.
very good.
So
Very
that's why the poor people could not afford to buy it.
the khadi, that is why they switched to milk cloth. Very good. What posed a problem for the middle classes during the boycott, during the non-cooperation movement?
Ma'am, please repeat.
What posed problems for the people during the non-cooperation movement?
They were the loss for the people in their business.
नहीं, मतलब बच्चों लोगों को किस चीज से परेशानी हो रही थी? देखो लास्ट के 3-4 लाइंस में लिखा हुआ है इसका क्वेश्चन का आंसर. What posed problem for the people? मतलब किस वजह से people were facing problem?
Because ma'am, there was no alternative Indian institutions.
Very good. Very good. Because there were no alternative institution, that is why people started facing problem.
Yes, ma'am.
Who began returning to their previous institutions?
Students and teachers, and the lawyers starting their legal practices.
This is very good. Very good. Very good. चलिए, आपके पास बुक है ना?
Yes, ma'am.
ओके. हम एक चीज और, अभी एक पैराग्राफ खोल रहे हैं स्क्रीन पे.
Okay, ma'am.
हाँ, चलिए. कैन यू सी द स्क्रीन?
Yes, ma'am.
चलिए, अब आप हमें ये बताइए. एक मिनट. Uh, 2.3. Which workers had their own understanding of Mahatma Gandhi's notion of Swaraj? Which
Yes, ma'am.
which workers they are talking about here in this paragraph?
Ma'am, all the workers from the hills.
नहीं, ठीक से पढ़ो. In the beginning only it
The
is given.
plantation.
Yes, the plantation workers had their own understanding of Mahatma Gandhi and the notion of Swaraj. Okay. For whom freedom meant the right to move freely in and out of the confined space.
Plantation workers in Assam.
Very good. Fine. Under which act plantation workers were not permitted to leave the tea gardens without permission?
Inland Immigration Act
Of of
of 1859.
very good, of 1859. Then what did the plantation workers do when they heard of the non-cooperation movement?
Thousands of workers challenged the authorities, left the plantations, and headed home.
Okay. What did they
And
believe? Wait. Your answer is over. Very good.
okay,
Um,
ma'am.
mm, why the workers could not reach their destination? Why the workers could
Um,
not? Huh.
ma'am, they did not able to reach their destinations
They were not.
because
They were not able to reach their destinations because.
they were not able to reach their destination
Hmm,
because of um
hmm, because of the.
because they were caught by the police and brutally beaten up.
पकड़े किस वजह से गए? क्या उनके रास्ते में ऑब्स्टिकल हो गया था?
Strikes.
सेकंड लास्ट लाइन देखो ठीक से.
It is written on standing on the way by railway and steamer strike.
Yes, because of the railway and the steamer strike, they could not reach their destination, right?
Okay, ma'am.
हाँ, चलिए. Okay. Zainab, can you tell which picture is this? It is about which incident?
Chori Chora.
Okay, it is about Chori Chora incident. Fine. What happened under Chori Chora?
They were the peaceful demonstration in Bazaar,
Uh,
which turned into the violent with the police.
hmm,
Hearing of the accident, Mahatma called a halt of the non-cooperation movement.
very good. This Chori Chora is related to the non-cooperation movement, and due to this incident of Chori Chora at Gorakhpur in UP, the non-cooperation movement was called off, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Next. Next. Hmm. Can you see the paragraph? First one.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Who formed the Swaraj Party? Who formed the Swaraj Party? Read in the paragraph, you will get to know.
Motilal Nehru and C.R. Das
Motilal,
founded the Swaraj Party.
very good. Who wanted more of radical mass agitation and full independence?
Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose.
Very good. Jawaharlal Nehru and Subhash Chandra Bose. Next is okay. ये बताओ who felt that it was important to oppose British policies within the council?
Yes, ma'am.
Who believed that it was important? Who felt that it was important to oppose British policies within the councils?
Mahatma Gandhi.
No. Read the paragraph.
Ma'am, Congress leaders.
Yes. Some of the Congress leaders, they felt that it is important to oppose British policies within the councils. Okay. What was this Simon Commission and who headed this Simon Commission? बताओ बेटा.
Ma'am, Salmon Commission was arrived in India in 1928. It was greeted with the slogan "Go back,
Who headed?
Simons."
नहीं. Who headed this commission? इसका head कौन था?
All the British government, not an Indian.
पैराग्राफ में पढ़ो, देखो पढ़ो, पैराग्राफ में लिखा हुआ है. हाँ, लिख रहा है.
Yes, ma'am. All parties, including the Congress and the Muslim League,
ना
participated in.
बेटा, headed का मतलब होता है उस कमीशन को कौन हेड कर रहा था? Who was heading the commission? बताओ.
Irwin, Lord Irwin.
नहीं, लॉर्ड एरविन तो नहीं थे ऐसे. देखो दोबारा से पढ़ो, फर्स्ट लाइन से पढ़ो, पढ़ना शुरू करो फर्स्ट लाइन से. Against the background.
Oh, I got it. Sir John Simon.
Yes, it was Sir John Simon. Very good, very good.
Okay. I started the next paragraph like when the Simon was.
Okay. How was Simon Commission greeted in India? How was
with the
Simon?
slogan "Go back, Simon."
Okay, with the slogan "Go back, Simon." Okay. Who gave the vague offer of dominion status? Who gave a vague offer of dominion status for India?
Lord Irwin.
Yes, it was Lord Irwin. Where he wanted to discuss about the dominion status for India in an unspecified future.
Round Table Conference.
Okay, fine. Why did Gandhi ji boycott the Round Table Conference? Why did Gandhi ji boycott the first Round Table Conference? Batao.
Yes, ma'am. Finding.
Okay. If answer you will get in the next paragraph. Done?
Ma'am, it is just given at the last line that Mahatma Gandhi had to find a way to relate this abstract idea of freedom to more concrete issues of everyday life.
दोबारा बोलो. Gandhi ji boycotted it.
Ma'am, it is just written that Mahatma Gandhi had to find a way to relate this abstract idea of freedom to move to more concrete issues of everyday life.
बट हमने आपको क्लास में ही बताया था कि फर्स्ट राउंड टेबल कॉन्फ्रेंस वाज बॉयकॉटेड बाय गांधी जी बिकॉज सी इट वाज अबाउट टू डिस्कस द फ्यूचर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, राइट? इट इज रिटन ओवर हियर, second last line,
Yes, ma'am.
right? But no Indian member was part of this commission. That is why the first roundtable conference was boycotted by Mahatma Gandhi, right?
Okay, ma'am.
Very good. Coming to the next one. चलो जी, okay. In the paragraph, second paragraph, first one is like that only. Which movement they are? In which movement the Patidars of Gujarat and the Jats of UP were active?
Civil disobedience movement.
Very good. Um, why they wanted to be part of this movement? Huh?
Ma'am, being producers of commercial crops, they were very hard hit by the trade depression and falling prices.
Mm,
And as their cash income they disappeared, they found it impossible to pay the government's revenue demand, and the refusal of government to reduce the revenue demand led to widespread resultant.
okay. Why were they deeply disappointed when the movement was called off in 1931? Why were they deeply disappointed when the movement was called off in 1931?
When the movement called off, they didn't get the revenue rates being revised.
Yes.
So the movement.
Huh. Very good, very good, very good. Now, next is hmm, why did the poor peasantry become part of the civil disobedience movement? Why did the poor peasantry become part of the civil disobedience movement?
The poor peasantry were not just interested in the lowering of the revenue demand. Many
Hmm.
of them were small tenants
Hmm.
cultivating land they had rented from landlords.
Hmm. दोबारा बोलो, नहीं समझ में आया.
Poor peasantry were not just interested in the lowering of the revenue demand. Many of them were small tenants cultivating land and they rented from landlords. As the depression continued and cash incomes
Adult
low, the small
tenants.
the small tenants found it difficult to pay their rent.
Okay. So the main motive with which they became the participants in the civil disobedience movement was that they wanted the unpaid rent to the landlord to be remitted. ठीक है?
Okay, ma'am.
चलिए, very good. Why the Congress was unwilling to support no rent campaigns in most places?
Yes, ma'am.
Hello, I will change the question. My question is,
Okay.
why the relationship between the poor peasants and the Congress remained uncertain? Why the relationship between
Because,
the...
ma'am, Congress were not willing to support no rent campaign in
Very
most
good.
of the places.
And why the Congress was not willing to support the no rent campaigns? What was their fear? What were their fears? उनको क्या लग रहा था कि अगर वो पार्टिसिपेट करेंगे तो उनके साथ क्या होगा? They had some fear in their mind, no? So what was that fear? Hmm?
Because, ma'am,
Because
because they had joined many of radical movements.
चलो नहीं, इसका आंसर ये होगा बेटा that the Congress was Congress never wanted to upset the rich peasants. That is why they were not willing to support the no rent campaigns. ठीक है?
Okay, ma'am.
हाँ जी, क्योंकि भाई ये जो नो रेंट कैंपेन था, ये इट वाज अगेंस्ट द पुअर रिच पीजेंट्स, और कांग्रेस अगर इसको सपोर्ट करती तो इसका मतलब है वो रिच पीजेंट्स को नाराज कर रही है ना? यही
Yes,
तो होता है
ma'am.
इसका मायने। हाँ, इसलिए जो है उन्होंने सपोर्ट नहीं करा। वेरी गुड। ओके, नेक्स्ट। आई होप यू आर नॉट टायर्ड।
No, ma'am.
वेरी गुड। ओके, who made huge profits and became powerful during the First World War?
Indian merchant and industrialist.
Very good. The Indian merchants and the industrialists. Okay. Who wanted protection against imports of foreign goods and a rupee sterling foreign exchange ratio?
Businessman.
The businessmen, the merchants and the industrialists again. What is FICCI? What is FICCI?
The Federation of the Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industries in 1927, led by
Okay.
the prominent industries like Purushottam Das Thakur and
Das.
G.D. Birla.
Very good. Hmm. चलिए हम आपसे इन ईयर्स में पूछते हैं। हो गया। चलिए अब आ जाइए इस वाले पे। ये दो पैराग्राफ्स दिख रहे हैं?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Whose participation in the civil disobedience movement was limited, particularly to Maharashtra and Nagpur regions?
Dalits.
Dalits, very good. Now, who organized Dalits into Depressed Classes Association and in which year?
Dr. B.R. Ambedkar.
And in which year?
1930.
Very good. Also tell, why did Mahatma Gandhi clash with Dr. B.R. Ambedkar at the second roundtable conference?
They were demanding for the several electorates for Dalits.
For Dalits, very good. What happened under the Pune Pact of September 1932?
Ambedkar ultimately accepted Gandhiji's position, and it was the result of Pune Pact.
Pune Pact का बेस क्या था? Pune Pact जो हुआ साइन, तो उसका बेस क्या था? क्यों साइन हुआ था वो?
It gave the depressed classes reserved seats in provincial and central legislative councils, but they were to be voted in the general elections.
Very good. Okay. Why some of the Muslim political organizations in India were lukewarm in their response to civil disobedience movement? Why some of the Muslim political organizations in India were lukewarm in their response to the civil disobedience movement?
Because after the decline of non-cooperation Khilafat movement, a
Hmm,
large section of Muslims
hmm,
felt alienations from the Congress.
very good. Felt alienated from the Congress. Okay. Hmm, okay, Zainab. Zainab,
Yes, ma'am.
beta, I think this much is sufficient for today, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what we will do in the tomorrow's class, we will start from here. The sense of collective belonging. There are 3 pages for this. So accordingly, as per the passages, I will be asking you. Fine? Fine?
Okay, ma'am.
Chaliye. Have a good day.
Thank you, ma'am.
Chalo. Anything that you are still doubtful about in any